Hey everyone, this is Laura with Laura Academic Astrology, and I'm here to give you the update for February 3rd through the 9th, 2020. Starting on Monday, February 3rd at 4:42 a.m. Mountain Time, we have Mercury going into the sign of Pisces. So, Mercury is not inherently comfortable in Pisces. In astrology, we call this the sign of Mercury's detriment, meaning that Mercury has pretty much opposite goals of Pisces. Um, so, Mercury, his job as a planet is to dissect, to focus in on details, to analyze. um, and Pisces, as a sign's goal, is more big picture, like dreamy, visionary. And so Mercury, they just have different goals, Mercury and Pisces together. And so there's basically, there's plenty of people who have Mercury in Pisces, and a lot of people who have it are poets or writers or people who find creative ways to use their words, right? Um, but in general, communication, because Mercury is the planet of communication, communication could be foggy or unclear. There could be miscommunications. Once again, Pisces is a very creative, compassionate sign, so it could be good time to do creative projects that involve words or communication or writing. Definitely dream oriented. You could be having a lot more dreams during this time. Um, I would say we should be careful because this is the sign where Mercury will be retrograde later on in the month of February. So Mercury will be retrograde on February 16th or 17th through March 9th. And Mercury retrograde in general is a debilitated Mercury, meaning he's not functioning up to his full capacity as a planet. But especially Mercury retrograde in the sign of its detriment in Pisces is like even more like pretty much like think of like drunk Mercury. It's like not able to function as effectively as he would normally like to. But I'll talk about Mercury retrograde when we get closer to that. I just wanted to put that out there that Mercury is going into Pisces, into the same sign where it will be retrograde later on in the month. And so certain topics that come up at the beginning of the month for you will likely be in review in a couple weeks when Mercury travels backwards over the same degrees that it's traveling through right now. So just kind of keep that in mind. And I'll definitely talk more about it as we get closer to the Mercury retrograde. But in general, Mercury in Pisces, once again, it's very creative placement, even if debilitated. There could be unclear messages, miscommunication, or just maybe not feeling like you're getting your point across, or maybe feeling like people aren't hearing you or you can't speak, or yeah. But once again, plenty of really creative people have this placement. Just because a planet is in detriment doesn't mean that it's it's not like a fatalistic dooming of how that planet is functioning for you. It's just meaning that it's going to have to function in a creative way for you. So that's Monday, February 3rd. We also have Venus and Pisces making a sextile to Saturn in Capricorn on Monday the 3rd as well. So Venus is the planet of relationships and art and beauty and our values and finances and all the finer pleasures of life. And Venus is exalted in Pisces, meaning that she's kind of treated as a guest or an honored guest in the sign of Pisces. If we think of Pisces as like a house and Venus as a person. So she can function really well there. They have similar goals and they can help each other out. Saturn is in Capricorn, of course, and Saturn is also in dignity in Capricorn, meaning that Saturn rules over Capricorn. So these are two planets that are very strong. And sextiles are positive, flowing aspects full of ease, but It's more about us recognizing it and taking advantage of the energy rather than things just happening to us. Saturn is also the planet of longevity and commitment, and in some cases limitations and restrictions. And but in this case with the sextile, it's more likely that the more positive aspects of Saturn will come about, and so we have to kind of mix Venus and Saturn things. So basically, if you're in a partnership, you could be like feeling very loyal and committed to this person. And there could be, a sense of longevity. Like if you even meet someone on this day, who you maybe start a relationship on this day, maybe you meet someone that you will be with, and that would be kind of a good sign with Venus making the sextile to Saturn, because there's this sense of things lasting, of commitment, of pulling through challenging times. And also, like, with Saturn, I mean, because Venus and Pisces can get a little, like, woo and, like, dreamy and over-romanticizing things or people or places or things. And Saturn in Capricorn is a planet that brings us back down to earth and is like, okay, let's look at the reality of this. Let's look at the long term. Let's not get totally swept off of our feet. And so this is a really good mixture, because you have like the dreamy, romantic Venus and Pisces that's like, oh, I see the best in everyone, and I, love you so much, and just really romantic. And then Saturn and Capricorn's like, and is this going to work? Let's look at the facts of the matter. And so Venus, once again, represents art and beauty. So thinking about persistence here with artistic projects, it could be a good time to start artistic projects that you might initially think or struggle with the follow through of it. Basically, Saturn will ask Venus for a more serious and perhaps even ambitious tone in the way that she plays. So that is on Monday. Oh, and that aspect is at 2:24 p.m. But I mean, regardless of the time, you'll probably be feeling this on Sunday, the 2nd, and even into Tuesday, the 4th. So good time for artistic projects that require longevity. On February 5th, which is a Wednesday, we have Mercury in Pisces now making a sextile to Uranus in Taurus. So remember, Mercury being the planet of our minds, how we think, how we communicate with others, how we exchange ideas. And Uranus is a planet that kind of requires radicalness, revolution, revelation, doing things differently, breaking away, freedom, authenticity. In the more negative cases, Uranus can be disruption, chaos, trauma. But once again, with a sextile, there's more of the positive components of Uranus coming about. So this could totally be like having a radical ideas or immediate insight or understanding. Uranus is kind of a planet that's like kind of lightning quick. So just kind of like insights, like some flashes of knowledge, cognitive breakthroughs, creative genius. It's also like a pretty flexible planet, so being able to think quick on your feet and adapt to whatever comes your way. Also a really good day like to maybe do some journaling or writing about anything that's been on your mind. If you've been feeling stuck in any way, this could be a really good way to utilize the energy by journaling, doing some automatic writing. Or if you are into tarot, like doing some tarot spreads, especially with Mercury in Pisces. I mean, Pisces is the sign that rules over dreams and images and pictures. And so, including like the tarot. The tarot is an ancient wisdom based on symbols and pictures and messages that come through those forms. So it could be a really good day to have a breakthrough of sorts if you've been feeling stuck, because definitely Uranus likes to unstuck things or free things. So that's Wednesday, February 5th. On February 7th, which is Friday, we have Venus moving into Aries, the sign of its detriment, meaning that Venus is not inherently comfortable in the sign of Aries. They have pretty separate goals as sign and planet. Venus's goal is to unite and to bring things together, to make peace, to be diplomatic, to balance things, to invite in. Aries is a sign that's ruled by the planet Mars, which is the god of war. And the god of war always wants to sever away, to cut away, to become free from, to do things on one's own. Venus is very much so the sign of relationships, of doing things with another person, whether that's a buddy, a best friend, a partner. And Aries is like the pioneer that goes off on his own and doesn't want to adapt to anyone's plans. You know, it's like, it's my way or the highway. And so this makes it so that Venus struggles a little bit in Aries, just to kind of do those Venusian things. And Venus is also a planet that represents women in general. And so this could indicate potential conflict in relationships with women. It could be just a more independent sense of wanting to like create, not wanting to collaborate or meet in the middle. It's more like, no, I'm not compromising here. I want to do things my way, or compromising would, you know, totally take away from the integrity of this project that I'm working on. Venus in Aries is definitely like leading the pack in a non-negotiable way. So yeah, collaboration is not the best with Venus and Aries in terms of if you're working on any sort of projects like art projects or creative projects. It's more independent for sure. It could also be, you know, Venus representing relationships and love and romance, just needing some space from a partner in general and kind of doing your own thing for a while, not collaborating as much. Yeah, those are kind of the main things I'm thinking of with Venus and Aries. And, you know, Venus will be in Aries for a while, a couple weeks, 3 weeks to 4 weeks. But this happens every year, I think. So it's not a huge deal. February 9th, which is a Sunday, we have a full moon in Leo. So full moons are kind of, I'm sure maybe you've noticed, kind of really busy, crazy, erratic times that can be like totally full of energy, like, whoa, what's going on today? Everyone's acting really crazy. There's this really hectic feeling. It's the culmination of the moon's energy for the month, and it's can be maybe feel really busy or overwhelming even, or just like, it's almost like everyone is like about to explode or something. But you know, it's a good time to kind of get all that excess energy out of you. If you're needing to get projects done, it could be a good time to do that, or to focus on that as like a deadline, because once the moon starts waning, the energy for everyone just becomes lessened and more like introverted in a sense. I mean, if we think about like in ancient times at night, people would stay out longer and later and even do things at night when the moon was full or when the moon was growing, because there was enough light to see. You know, we didn't have these fluorescent lights that we have today. And so there was enough light to maybe gather, to hunt, even to play like at night for longer. And, you know, and then once the moon starts waning and gets closer to a full moon, it's dark, it's black outside. There's like no light. You can't see anything. And so people are more likely to, I mean, there's even more danger at that time. You know, you can't see predators. So people are more likely to kind of stick together and like kind of be more internal, introverted, just not, they're not out like being as active just because of the light, you know? So in general, the full moon could just be a really active time, good time to go do something. And Leo especially, Leo is a sign that is ruled by the sun, which is all about who we are and how we can shine in this world. It's a very creative sign, very concerned with self-expression, being seen, being recognized, being special, and acknowledged as a unique individual. Leo can maybe be associated with children as well. So if you're maybe you find yourself like hanging out with children or around children and you're not normally around children. But in general, it's a good time to create, to express yourself in some way, to be seen as unique or special. Like, some sort of like performance would be a great full moon in Leo thing to do. Or in general, like reflecting on how you are a unique individual, how you are, like what you are here to do maybe in this world, if you believe in having a purpose, which I mean, I totally do. Like what is the unique essence of who you are and how can you express that to the world? So just some thoughts for reflection for the full moon on Sunday. That is it for this upcoming week. Stay tuned. I am actually going to do a video at some point, probably later on in the week, like Thursday or Friday, on the houses. I created like a PDF with, all the topics of the houses, and I'll just do a short video going over that in case you're confused. And more videos like that will be coming out soon once I figure out all the technology. All right, well, have a great week and feel free to comment about your experience this week. That's honestly a big way that I learn, is to see how this is actually playing out for people. And happy first week of February. Okay, bye.